Peace. So I'm back to continue with Moses and to see where we can end up today. Hopefully, we can cover all the aspects or as many as I can of what happened when God sent Moses after the meeting at the burning tree to Pharaoh and to deliver his warnings and tell him to send with Moses and Aaron, the sons of Israel, to free them from the enslavement and not to punish them. So let's continue now with more of what Moses and Aaron said when they came to Pharaoh. So this is another aspect here. So they both came to Pharaoh, but they both said, "Surely we messengers of Lord of the knowing, that send with us sons of Israel." He said, "Did not we take care of you in us a child, and you tarried in us from your visitation years? And you did your doing, which you did, and you from the rejectors." He said, "I did it then, and I from the astray. But I ran from you when I feared you, but sent to me my Lord command, and made me from the messengers. And these favors you favor them over me, that you enslave sons of Israel." So here Moses comes and says that, Moses and Aaron, that we are messengers of God and send with us sons of Israel. So then Pharaoh takes, "Oh, I took care of your child and you were in us years and you did your thing which you did, which is the killing of the soul." And then Moses responds, "I did it when I was astray and I ran away. And God sent me command and made me from the messenger." So, this is basically God showing us that, it doesn't matter. If you turn to God after your wrongs, and evils and right them and become righteous and do what is right and good and turn to God and ask for forgiveness, He's going to forgive you. So don't, when you come to your parents or your elder brothers or the elderly and tell them what is right against what they are doing, which is absolutely wrong, they can't take this card out and say, "Hey, we took care of you, so who are you to come and tell us that we're wrong?" That's another construct constructed by these fools to stop any kind of change to their beloved ways on the earth and what they have accepted and implemented and will not never accept the change from until they're put in a situation where there will be no escape from it. So said Pharaoh after that, "And what Lord of the knowing?" So he's asking them, "Who is this Lord of the knowing?" Says Moses, "Lord of the heavens and the earths, and what between them both, if you be assured." He said to those around them, "Are not you listening?" He said, "Your Lord and Lord of your fathers the first." He said, "Surely your messenger, the one sent to you, to be mad." So, this is back and forth between what Moses is saying and, Pharaoh mocking him. He said, "Lord of the rising and the setting, and what between them both, if you are, you understanding." He said, "If you take a God other than me, to my surely making you from the imprisoned." He said, "Even if I come to you with a thing clear." He said, "But come with it, if you be from the truthful." So threw his staff, but went here a serpent clear, and took out his hand, but went here bright to the lookers. He said to the chiefs around him, "Surely this to be a magician knowledgeable. He wants that he take you out from your earth with his magic. So what you order?" They said, "Return him and his brother, and bring out in the city's gathering. They bring to you with every magician knowledgeable." So got together the magicians to meeting of a day known, and was said to the mankind, "Are you gathered? Maybe we will follow the magicians if they the victorious." But when came the magicians, they said to Pharaoh, "If surely to us to be reward, if we the victorious?" He said, "Yes, and surely you then to be from the close ones." Said to them Moses, "Throw what you are throwing." So they threw their ropes and their staffs, and they said, "With honor of Pharaoh, surely we to be us the victorious." But threw Moses his staff, but when he ate what they deluded. So threw the magicians prostrating. They said, "We believe with Lord of the knowing, Lord of Moses and Aaron." He said, do you believe to him before that I called to you? Surely he to be bigger of you, the one who taught you the magic, but to be soon you knowing, to my surely cutting your hands and your feet from opposites, and to my surely crucifying you altogether. They said, no problem. Surely we to our Lord returning. Surely we desire that he forgive to us, our Lord, our faults, that we be first of the believers. So now this is another aspect ending, and then this goes on to the story of when God inspired Moses to go to the parting of the sea, which will be the last aspect in this story before Moses frees the sons of Israel and Pharaoh is destroyed. So this is another aspect, basically the same story repeated in a different format with some additions, some corroboration, just to put the whole picture together, which we discussed in the earlier session. So the next place where I want to show you what happens is in chapter 28. Let me see this. So here again, but when came to them Moses with our signs clear, they said, not this except magic made up, and not we heard with this in our fathers the first. And said Moses, my Lord aware with one who comes with the guidance from within him, and one, it be to him end the home. Surely he, not he makes prosperous the wrongdoers. And said Pharaoh, O you, the chiefs, not I taught you from God other than me, but light to me, O Haman, over the sulfur, but make to me a platform, maybe I rise to God of Moses, surely to my surely thinking he from the falsifiers. And arrogant he and his forces in the earth without the truth, and they thought surely they to us, not they returning. So we grabbed him and his forces, but we pushed them in the water. But look how was the end of the wrongdoers. So this is a bigger, higher view of what happened with Moses and Pharaoh, and in the end they were destroyed. So the next is in chapter 40, where we see the story repeated again from a different angle. And already we sent Moses with our signs and authority clear to Pharaoh and Haman and Karun, but they said, magician falsifier. But when came to them with the truth from within us, they said, kill sons of those who believe with him, and let live their women, and not plan of the rejectors except in Astranus. And said Pharaoh, leave me, I will kill Moses, and let him call his Lord, surely I fear that he will change your way, or that it appears in the earth the war. And said Moses, surely I seek refuge with my Lord and your Lord from every arrogant naughty believes with day of the account. So, this is the back and forth. Moses, he says, I'm going to kill Moses. Moses says, I seek refuge with my Lord. So, let him call his Lord, he says. So Moses calls his Lord, and guess what? Pharaoh can't touch Moses. I mean, look at all the stories. I mean, even if it's fables for you, the reality is it's truth. Look at all the books. Pharaoh was in charge of the earth. I mean, how could he not kill the one little man with a little staff in his hand? Think about that, those who believe these books. Think about that and how powerful the actual force of God is protecting anyone. He can protect any soul from all the earth altogether, all of mankind. And he does every time. Every time he destroys, the messenger is there. He's telling them they're going to be destroyed. And they keep running away, calling him names, all sorts of names that you've already heard in this account of Moses and Pharaoh and the others before Moses. So, and said a man, believer, from family of Pharaoh, he hid his faith. So now this is a guy who was hiding his faith from within the family of Pharaoh. And he's saying, when Moses comes, are you killing a man that he says, my Lord God, and has come to you with the clarities from your Lord? And if he be falsifier, but over him his falsehood, and if he be truthful, it will come to you some of what he promises you. Surely God, not he guides one, he exceeds limits, falsifies. O my people, to you the kingship, the day apparent in the earth. But who he will help us from war of God if comes to us? Said Pharaoh, not I show you except what I see, and not I guide you except path of the right conduct. So this is the self-righteousness of the deluded fools. Today the same thing. They will tell the guy who brings guidance, say, you don't know Jack. I show you what I see, and I guide you to the right conduct. And said the one who believed. So this is back and forth between the one who believed from family of Pharaoh and between Pharaoh himself, while Moses and Aaron are just there. They're not saying anything. This is the guy who actually believes. He's saying all this stuff. And said the one who believed, O my people, surely I fear over you example of day of the parties, example of creatures of people of Noah, and Ad, and Thamud, and those from after them, and not God. He wants wrongdoing to the servants. And O my people, surely I fear over you day of the wailing, a day you will turn backing, not to you from God from stopping, and one he makes astray, God, but not to him from guide. And already came to you Joseph from before with the clarities, but not you declined in doubting from what came to you with it, till when killed, you said, not will he bring out God from after him messengers. Like that he makes astray God, one, he exceeds limits, doubts. So, he's accusing them, telling them, you didn't doubt with what Joseph came to you, and when he was killed, you said God ain't gonna bring any more messengers. Just like today, they say, "Oh, after Muhammad, there'll be no more messengers." They themselves are the messengers telling you this, as if they know this from God. Those they dispute in signs of God without authority brought them great hatred with God and with those who believe. Like that he shuts God over every heart arrogant, violent, and said, Pharaoh, O Haman, construct to me a platform. Maybe I reach the paths of the heavens. So I rise to God of Moses, and surely to my surely thinking he falsifies, and like that made beautiful to Pharaoh evil his deeds, and stopped over the path, and not plan of Pharaoh except in destruction. So, here's an example that they try to go up there before, like these morons tell you that they are going up to the heavens, they've gone to Mars, they've gone to Saturn, they've gone landed on the moon of Jupiter or Saturn or whatever they call it, Titan. I mean, like these guys are fooling you. They haven't gone anywhere. Neither did Pharaoh. He went underground. Yeah, he went under the water. He didn't rise anywhere. You can't get out of the earth. Understand that fact. It is enclosed, it is guarded, and nobody's going to escape it. The only way you can get out is when you die and you'll be shown the reality, or if God wishes to raise you up. No other person has the power to get you out of here. And he did that with Jesus, and he will bring him back when the time comes. And said the one who believed, O my people, follow me. I will guide you path of the right conduct. O my people, surely what this, the life of the world, play, and surely the hereafter, here home, the standing. Any who does evil, but not he repaid, except example of it. And any who does righteousness, from male or female, and he believes, but those, they will enter the garden, they sustained in her without account. Know my people, what to me? I call you to the safety, and you surely call me to the fire. You surely call me to my rejecting with God, and my partnering with Him, what not to me with it knowledge. And I call you to the mighty, the forgiving. No doubt, surely what you surely call me to it, not to it calling in the world and not in the hereafter. And surely we will be turned to God, and surely the exceeders of limits, they companions of the fire. But soon you will remember what I say to you, and I send my command to God. Surely God watches with the servants. So stopped him God evils of what they plotted, and surrounded with family of Pharaoh evil, the punishment. The fire they turned over her morning and evening, and the day she stands, the hour they will enter, family of Pharaoh, severe, the punishment. So, this is another example of the same story, and I'm going to give you one more to round this off. This is in chapter 44, which I've given you some examples of before, where the smoke is clearly identified as the punishment that is to come to mankind shortly. Shortly, it always is. So here, and already we tried before them people of Pharaoh, and came to them messenger honored. So obviously this is Moses. That I call to myself servants of God. Surely I to you a messenger secure. And that don't you be high over God. Surely I come to you with authority clear, and surely I seek refuge with my Lord and your Lord, that you stone me. And if not, you believe to me, but push away. But called his Lord. Surely these people sinning. So all of this is like every messenger does this, more or less. And then he sees, look at his people, and they're like total in absolute disbelief and rejection of what the messenger comes with. So he calls to God, surely these people sinning. And God responds, but travel with my servants by night, surely you will be followed. And leave the sea a path, surely their forces to be drowned. How many they left from gardens and springs, and growth and stations honored, and favors they were in them delighting, like that, and we inherited them people others. So this is the spirit interjecting here, saying, they left all that stuff following Moses, because God said they're going to follow you, and they will be drowned, their forces. So he told Moses already this. And then the spirit telling you how many, you leave all your good places to go kill someone you have nothing to do with, except that he's taking his people away, or he's telling people to get out and some are following him. So you're going to try and kill him, and in the back, God destroys all of you and inherits that to the other people. This is what happened with Moses, and this happens all the time on the earth. We just don't pay attention to it. But not cried over them the heaven and the earth, and not they were looking. And already we saved sons of Israel from the punishment, the lowly from Pharaoh. Surely he was high from the exceeders of limits. And already we chose them over knowledge above the knowing. And we brought them from the signs were in it, trial clear. So, this is telling us that the sons of Israel are chosen, and they've been brought knowledge above the knowing, and they've been brought signs clear. What in it is trial clear. So this is basically telling us the sons of Israel are chosen above the other creation of mankind, the other so-called races. You want to call it racism by God, you can call it racism. He chose them and he graced them above the knowing. He's written it. But your grace does not save you, that you will be tried for that grace. You're not going to get away from abusing the grace that God has brought you, the knowledge that God has brought you, the signs that He has brought you. And then you think you can just get away with abusing those and abusing people and manipulating them to turn to you as if you are gods, which is what's happening on the earth with most of the leadership and the governments and the societies and all these secret societies that are usurping the control of the earth and enslaving most of mankind and to their whims and fancies. So, if you look around, we are under attack from all sides. We, as like the human race, from all sorts of conspiracies and delusions and deceptions that have been created to enslave mankind. And that's what God is showing here. Most of the people that were there believed with Pharaoh. They don't believe with Moses and Aaron. Only some of the progeny from his people, which are the sons of Israel, believed with him, not all of them. And then the story of theirs will continue after the next phase in this whole story, where Moses and Aaron take the sons of Israel at the behest of God and part the sea with his staff. He parts the sea with the will of God, and he saves them. And then the story continues further after that. But that will be the end of this punishment of Pharaoh and him being destroyed. And then the story continues after that. What happened with those sons of Israel that left with Moses and Aaron into this Sinai Peninsula, which is called Sinai Peninsula today, next to a part of Egypt actually today. And what happened there? So, this story will end next time with the destruction of Pharaoh and the examples of how God destroyed them, some of which I've already mentioned, like here and in the earlier chapter where they were destroyed. So I will go to places where this is clearly defined what happened with Pharaoh. There are probably 3 or 4 places which it is clearly written and explained what happened, how it happened, and what was the end result. And then we'll continue with the story after that, and what happened when the 40 night meeting occurred with Moses and God and the angels and the spirit. and what happened behind him. So, we will look at that after that. So, till then, if wishes God, peace.